Happy Friday. Welcome to Full Circle with Lika. I'm Lika. Let's fucking go. Today, I want to share about a topic that I'm so profoundly passionate about and that I see so much bullshit online about this topic. The topic of today is really understanding this notion of feminine versus masculine in business. This episode is for the business girlies, for all of my fellow entrepreneurs that are trying to build something meaningful, that are pouring their heart and soul into something that truly matters for them and really trying to make a difference in this world. And if you are on this journey, you know just how hard it can get when you're trying to build a business. And especially if you have a more what they call feminine business, which means it's more spiritual, it's in the coaching industry, it's being an artist, it's all those jobs that are a bit more unconventional. Half of the society doesn't really recognize as being a job, or they don't fully get it. But I get you. That's you. I get you. I feel you. And let's talk about this. Because what I've seen a lot is so many people put the feminine against the masculine in business, right? So the masculine being the structure, the processes, hustling, working hard, having a strategy. And on the other side, the feminine is the intuition, the heart, a bit of the magic, the manifestation, the mindset, the energetical of business. Usually there is this opposition. It's always a debate of, oh, this one is bad and this one is bad. There is this marketing bro that tries to make you fit into a 17 steps funnel, telling you that emotions don't matter and you should just work harder. And on the other side, there is the feminine embodiment coach that has made millions in her business, struggling and going through those masculine structure, and then arriving to a point where she can sell you and make a lot of money on the back of people that are, I don't want to say naive, because like I want to believe in that too, but they're making money on people's hope that business could be just easy, super simple, that you would have to sacrifice nothing and you can just be pleasuring yourself and manifesting millions of dollars and create an empire that impacts tons of lives without doing anything hard, anything that you don't want to do, anything that doesn't feel good or feel aligned entirely. So today we're here to debunk all of this bullshit, because what I've learned personally, and that, in my podcast is just my own entitled opinion, and I change my mind all the time. I always think to myself that I should delete some of my past episodes because I really don't vibe with what I was believing before and the woman that I was. I mean, I honor her, but I also don't vibe with what she was believing or doing or how she was running her life and her business. But hey, I get inspired by other people when I see their evolutions, so I'm gonna keep it out there. That was just a parenthesis. Let's come back on track. It does such a disservice to a lot of people, because if you're like me, you chose to run your own business for personal reasons, for very selfish reasons, like you don't want to be an employee, you don't want to have a boss, you want to have more freedom. We've talked about this in the podcast already. This is bullshit. You don't get more freedom when you are an entrepreneur. If anything, you probably get less freedom, but the freedom you gain somewhere is the freedom you lose elsewhere. Also because you wanted to make your own money and maybe work on your own schedule. I don't know what was your personal reason, but we always have selfish reasons. Maybe you just want to share your art, your passion, what you're really good at, and serve people in that way. So now we're sliding into the part of like service. So it's not just your selfish reasons, it's also because you know that what you're doing is going to help other people. And you really have so much heart and belief and passion around what you're sharing, teaching, providing, whether it's a service or a product, doesn't matter, but you believe in what you're doing and you believe it's going to change people's lives. And if you did that, if you started a business with your heart in it, with your passion, with something that you know is going to have a positive impact, and you have a big heart and you're a sensitive person, you're a conscious person. I'm, quote unquote conscious. You know what I mean? You're just someone who loves personal development. You know yourself very well. You've worked on your mindset, on your shadows, and you took this entrepreneurial journey, and then you realize how spiritual that was. Such a deep initiation. Because I know two different categories of people, even in my circle. I also have people who started a business. It's just about providing a service. They don't get so attached with that identity of like running a business. They just work, 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 work. That's all they do. They provide the service. They try to grow the business. They try to put more money in the pocket of the business as well to grow the business more. That's it. And the other side of people, they do something and the entrepreneurial journey itself is bringing a lot for them. And they take every opportunity in their business to learn more about themselves, to learn more about life, about other people. They're expanding while creating this legacy, this business, this project. And so, I vibe a lot more with the second type because we feel each other. Sometimes it's hard to put it into words, right? Like how it can be a suffering, it's so much pain, it's so much devotion. And at the same time, it's a constant learning experience and also such a spiritual journey. Like it's, the most ceremonial space is growing within my business, learning about myself, meeting my edges and pushing them again and again. And I don't know about you, but it's such a relief every time I meet other people who I don't have to explain that. They just get it and we get each other. And it's just a lot easier to connect and to also uplift each other because we want to see more of us into the world. But this journey can also be super freaking lonely, especially if the people in your life, your friends, your family, is not really supportive. They don't really get what you're doing. They don't support your vision because no one is going to believe in your vision until the vision happened, until you've done the thing, until you have the results of the thing. But what can happen, and what I have a lot of respect for people who actually met failure and struggle and hardships, not to glamorize it because that can also be a limiting belief, right? Oh, I need to suffer to make it into the world and to have an impact and to deserve good things. I need to really hustle and work hard and be broken in millions of pieces in order to succeed. That can be a limiting belief. But also, I have so much respect for people who actually know what it's like to fail, to make mistakes, to face obstacles. I'm not such a big fan of the story of, hey, that was my first year of business and everything was working so fine and we had this exponential growth and everything was amazing and let me teach you how to do business. Like, yes, this is again very attractive in terms of marketing. Like, oh, wow, you're successful and that was fast, but do you know how to handle real obstacles, because sometimes we forget the context. Maybe you were also a bit lucky, and I don't question those people. I'm sure there are some kind of work behind it. If you put no work whatsoever, I don't think you have any sort of results. But the people who have really built something today that is big, impactful, that reach a lot of people, a lot of lives, I have a lot of admiration when they tell their stories. And usually in those stories, there are some kind of facing obstacles. And that's why I say it's such an initiation. There is this hero's journey in the story of the business and meeting failure. I think I'm very sensitive to that too because I've been struggling, facing obstacles for a very fucking long time in my business. So I know someone can meet me there when they have themselves faced what I've been facing as well. And even though part of me sometimes wish that, oh, it was so much easier, I know it's not true because I've built so much skills and so much of myself, my self-trust, my confidence within the struggle, the hardships, and it being hard. I think I went on a fucking tangent here, but let's come back to that opposition that I see a lot of times. A lot of times we put the masculine on one hand and the feminine on the other one. And there is almost this competition, they're pointing fingers at each other saying like, hustle is so bad. And then masturbating your way to success is so bad. You're not going to succeed like that with like rituals and manifestation. You need to put in the work. And I think both are so true. First of all, like there are some truth and some legitimacy to both sides. But also the thing that no one really talks about is how they work together. Always. They always fucking work together. And if they don't, then there is imbalances and then maybe potentially failures or bigger obstacles or struggle or feeling stuck. Let me explain. You're masculine in business. The side that is operational, systems, processes, strategies, but also working hard, putting the effort, the grit, the fire, the passion, the ambition. This is necessary for a business to take off and to continue flying high. Without it, you can be so spread thin. And I know it happens to a lot of women I worked with. I want to tell you that. I want to share that with you. I've always marketed my offers being very sensual. We also use sexual energy in my programs. Even when I work with leaders on their businesses, women that came to me in kind of the early stages of business, or it has been a few years, but they didn't see their businesses as real businesses. They didn't feel yet the powerful CEO of their businesses. They felt like they had this hustle, this thing, this project, this passion. I worked a lot with artists as well, of many forms. Usually, those kind of people, they're having this syndrome of the starving artist and they don't feel legit, and it's hard for them to be structured. And so those people are brilliant. They have tons of ideas. They are so creative. They could create like more than my brain can even comprehend, which is freaking amazing. And they lack this structure, this masculine. They come to with that desire for more structure. And I know I have a lot and I've built a lot and I'm still building as I grow and expand and learn more. I'm building more and more processes, more and more systems, more and more structure in my business, in my days, in how I run my shit, because I know how important it is. But the thing is, I've always marketed my offers as something they're being feminine led, pleasure led. We work with your pussy, with your sexuality in business. How can you use your eros, your feminine force, to fuel your ambition and your desires while being in the masculine frame? And I know most people that came to me work, and I'm thinking especially about this offer that I run for a few years called Business Activator, which is coming back, by the way. So if you want to apply to this, you can reach out to me. I think the best way to reach out to me is on Instagram. I have created a new account. I don't know if I shared it in the podcast yet. I have created a new account. I'm starting fresh. I'm starting from zero because I really want to have the best people in my community. Even if I have like very few people, I want just the best people, the people who actually get it. On my other account, I had a lot of my old high school friends, not friends so much. They're just there to like be curious and stuff. And my conscience is being pushed to them more than it is to my real people. And I actually love to be in conversation with you, to be connected, to feel seen, like in both ways. Like I really love to connect with you. That's why I create content as well. It's not just for my brand, it's to be connected to you. So I started a new account. It's called the Femme Sanctuary with like dots in between. That will obviously be in the show notes. So please come and join me. And you can DM me if that sounds like something that I can support you with or you want that kind of support. But my offer back in the days, I've run this shit for a long time. Business Activator was a place where the feminine and the masculine meets. And a lot of people coming into my field were very feminine driven. They had feminine businesses. I'm talking about artists, coach, mentors, breathwork facilitators, dancer, photographer, painters, therapists, fitness coach, yoga people, this whole industry of wellness, personal development, and doing something meaningful. So those people were doing something very intentional, very heart-led. They were leading with their hearts and adding so much value because they were very feminine in essence, or they wanted to be more feminine. It's kind of funny, right? Because they came to me for structure because they felt like they didn't really have structure. So they came to me for the masculine side, but they wanted their feminine to be respected and honored. So that's why they came into such essential feminine container as well, where yes, we work on your business, but I'm not here to just support the business and your project. I'm also here to support the woman behind it, because it takes a lot to be in that position of leadership and CEO, showing up for yourself and building something meaningful, because we have to develop so much skills outside of our unique genius. And I think that's why being supported is so important, because it's heavy, it's a lot. And if you add to that just personal life, trying to take care of your mental health, your physical health, maybe you have kids, maybe you have a partner, and life gets really busy and also can feel very lonely. And getting the proper support and being in proximity with someone that can hold the vision and that you trust with the vision. That's what I was sharing in the beginning. I made this mistake, and that's going to be another tangent, but you know how we roll on this podcast. A big mistake that I've done, and I'm just starting right now. I'm almost 30 years old in 5 months, 24th of September, if you want to wish me my birthday. I'm almost 30 years old, and I'm now realizing this one piece. I have integrated quite early on that I should never take advice from someone who is not where I want to be. But that was something that I had to repeat myself over and over and over again. But also, I'm such a big sharer. I don't know if you can say that. I love to share. I love to talk. I'm such a talkative person. I love conversations. I love sharing my stories, my experience, because I feel like I went through life so that I can share my experiences and make other people feel seen and understood, because I felt like I had like a billion lives in my own life, and I've changed so many times, and it's very confusing even to myself. But I love to share stories. There's a reason why I have a podcast, right? My podcast was not started whatsoever for my business. It was my personal diary when I got broken up with, and it changed my entire world. And I had breakthroughs and revelations and teachings and lessons, and I was recording myself, leading myself through those breakthroughs with my voice. And so I was doing that again and again. And at some point I was like, come on, this is really good. Maybe someone else can benefit from all those breakthroughs and is going through the same thing. And something that I've struggled with my whole life is feeling so lonely, so different, like I didn't fit in, like no one actually gets me. So when I find people who actually get it, I'm like, yes, that feels so good. And that's so valuable on itself, no matter what the person is sharing. If I feel this resonance of like, I know what she's talking about. She's speaking my language. And I haven't found until very late in my life anyone who spoke my language. And for so many years, now it's hard to even remember that time, how much pain I felt to feel so lonely and isolated, because I felt like I was wrong, that I was the problem. I was a fucking alien and no one could ever understand me, and I just didn't fit in this society, and it was not built for me, my type of people. I really felt like something was profoundly wrong with me. Even wanted to be diagnosed, making the test of the neurospicy people. I heard it on Instagram recently. I found this account. This woman is brilliant. She's so creative, and she identify herself as being neurospicy because instead of neuroatypical. And I loved it. Like, neurospicy, let's fucking go. I love it. I think it's brilliant. So I wanted to do all the tests to know if I was ADHD or if I was on the spectrum of autism, or I wanted to just get confirmation that something was wrong with me, until I found other people like me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. And that feels super good. And that's the most valuable thing in my life. And also when I went through hardships, whether it's building a business or sexual abuse or my abortion story or like the big, really painful things that happened in my life, my dark night of the soul, my spiritual awakenings, my gut-wrenching moments and hardships, I felt so good when someone else was like, hey, I know exactly what you're going through because I've been through that too, maybe even worse than you. So it just made me feel so seen and so supported, and like I was part of something bigger. And I think that's also why I keep showing up every single week on this podcast, in case my experience can serve you. I went on such a tangent, isn't it? Let's come back full circle, shall we? The point is, the people I work with, the women in Business Activator, they come to me for this masculine structure. They want the systems, the strategies, the processes, because usually most of them is different. People come with different things. I had people coming into that space to be more feminine because they were like so much in the hustle and just doing and big dreams, big ambition, but feeling quite rigid, even in their bodies. And they would be seeing me eating my strawberries in the sensual way and just creating in such a very feminine, sexy, turn on, even provocative way, leaning into my pleasure and using my pleasure to fuel all of what I do. And they would come to me like, I want more of that. I've seen you in your kitchen, preparing your food, eating your strawberries very sensually, or dancing crazy, being weird, or doing your laundry in a very sensual potential way. I want more of that. So I also had women like that. But I would say in Business Activator, most of the women came with that desire for more masculine. And the thing is, they were quite masculine, maybe just the wrong type of masculine energy. They were like, okay, I have this big dream, big ambition, and they have so many ideas. Like that's the feminine, right? They have so much feminine energy. They're really creative, connected to their hearts, doing something really good for the world, something that actually makes you feel good. They make their clients feel good and special. They really care about the experience that they provide. They're moved by this passion inside of them, which is so contagious. It's so good. And because they have this creative brain, they create so much. They have so many ideas. They want to do it all, but they don't have yet the structure to hold it. And there is an image we use often is like the river being the feminine energy and the riverbed, the river banks being the masculine structure that allows the river to not spread everywhere and be spread thin and completely scattered. That's what happened a lot with being too much in our feminine in business. We tend to be so scattered everywhere. And I want to say there is nothing wrong with being too much in your feminine, especially if it's your primary natural energy, or even if it's not, because you've been taught to act in a more masculine way, but you want to act in a more feminine way. There is nothing fucking wrong with it, okay? So don't let anyone telling you that the way you run your business is wrong. But of course, you can use more support to make your ideas and your projects feel more supported. It becomes a problem when you have a problem with it. It becomes a problem when you suffer from it, when you cannot complete your project that you say you want to complete because of the lack of structure. If you want to grow and you feel stuck, this becomes a problem when you are feeling a problem, right? Not because someone else on the internet is telling you that the way you do things is a problem. If things are working for you, don't try to change them. They're working for you for a reason. Trust yourself, trust your leadership, and remember who the fuck you are. We tend to forget in business, especially when we are bombarded with so much marketing strategies. Don't get me wrong, I love marketing. I'm learning so much about it right now because I somehow struggle. Did I struggle with it? Like I am very strong in personal branding. That's how I also helped a lot my clients to have a very powerful, unique brand that reflects their essence and who they truly are without having to copy anyone else, without having to have a strategy that feels misaligned with them. So I'm really good at branding, but I wasn't super good except in my podcast. I talk to you like you would be in front of me. I talk to you like my friend, my client, my people. It's easy on the podcast. But when I have to then condense my feelings, my knowing, my teachings, my skills, and to present it to the woman that I'm really trying to reach. I think that's why I started a new Instagram as well. I just wanted to talk to my people and be better at marketing. Marketing that is like ethical, right? I'm not trying to manipulate anyone in here. But because we all need to stand out in this industry and we need to push forward what we believe and our unique methodology, our unique framework, then we have to kind of like point fingers at what's not working. But what we tend to have is bias, right? Thinking that we know better because of our own experience. I'm talking from experience here. I'm pointing fingers at what I think is not working because it didn't work for me. It didn't work for people around me. So I want to name it and to offer a framework, a method that I know works. But this is just my truth. And some people are doing it in a way that works for them. But I've seen so many of my students and clients as well doubting themselves, second guessing themselves, every single decisions. You have no idea. One of my best friends, she is brilliant. She is my favorite artist of all time. Top 5. She is an incredible painter. She's the most unbelievably good space holder. She holds space for people in a way that I've never experienced before. She's so creative. She is so in tune with the beauty way. She's just amazing. She's brilliant. She's a strong woman. She's done so much in her life. She's been through so much. She alchemized so much. She's constantly growing and she is like chef's kiss. She is amazing. And yet, in her business. We talk about business all the time because we love to send voice messages to each other around our businesses because we're both really passionate entrepreneurs and we really get each other. So many times she makes a decision in her business and then she comes to me and she's like, what do you think? Because I've heard that this client or this person is doing it in another way and now I'm questioning myself. And she's constantly second guessing herself. And I love to remind her, remember who the fuck you are. Mind you, this woman did what most people are not capable of doing in their lives. She built so many things that are life-changing for other women that really touches the real things. She talks a lot about sexual healing and stuff like this, especially through art, which is so necessary. This is so important. This is big. And yet this powerful woman, this ambitious woman, this woman who has done so much in her life, she constantly doubts herself, second guess herself, and then she comes back to herself. Because also I love her. She is a Scorpio and she has this thing of like, if you're trying to tell her what to do, she will be like, fuck you! And she doesn't want to listen. So it's very sort of contradictory, but it isn't. So I'm amazed to see again and again and again. I also posted that, talking about another woman. I posted that on my page recently. I found this powerhouse of a woman. She has 200,000 plus followers. She's been in business for years. I think about 10 years, 7 to 10 years. Huge. She has a huge impact, a lot of interactions with people. Most of her offers are sold out. Recently, she posted a I'm sorry post because she launched one of her offer in a way that didn't feel aligned. And what she shares is that she did it in a way that didn't feel aligned and was a bit manipulative and not transparent because she was taught to do that because they said to her that would be the most scalable thing to do. That would bring more people. And she was afraid of failing. She was afraid of not making enough money. She was afraid. She was acting from fear. And she creates this post saying like, I'm sorry you felt betrayed and I didn't act in an aligned way because of this and this and this and that. I just want to say, I admire the way she showed up with transparency about this. I think it's very brave, especially when you have a big audience and a lot of eyes and a lot of people being able to talk shit on you. It's very fucking brave to own it and to say, I'm sorry. Even though I'm more a let's do better next time type of girl, I'm more a change behaviors over saying sorry type of girl. Like I want to see how she runs her next launch and that she does it with integrity and that she has learned from this. I'm not such a big fan of the I'm sorry public excuses, but that's just like personal opinion. But I needed to like slide that in because I love to give my unsolicited opinion because I'm very opinionated because I'm French. It's not the only reason I'm opinionated, right? But we're known in my country for being opinionated. We have strong opinions and we stand by them. And I definitely identify with that part of being French. Never mind. This powerful woman, brilliant. She's very smart. She leads a lot of people. And especially she's in an industry where she teaches people to do things in an aligned way. So I guess that was important for her to say sorry because she was leading by example. But I was amazed to see that a woman who has been in business, because you would think you're new to business, you don't know what to do, that's where you lose your power because you feel like you don't know anything. So someone else outside of you must know better than you do. So it's easier usually in early stages of business to outsource your power, to think that other people know better what's good for you and your business. But then you see those powerful people also falling into the trap of listening to what is appealing. It's very appealing. Oh, you're going to make more money. It's going to be scalable. You're going to be able to scale your business and grow and impact more people, increase your revenue. Who wouldn't want that in business? I'm asking you, like, let's be fucking real. Who wouldn't want that? Everyone wants to grow. We want more impact. We want more money because with more money, we have more impact. And with more impact, we have more money. And then we can grow the business that we're so passionate about. Who doesn't fucking want that? So of course, it's tempting to listen to other people and to do it in this way. The number of times where I've been tempted to do, especially collabs, where back in Mexico, I was surrounded with a lot of entrepreneurs, people in my field, and a lot of people wanted to always collab with me. And sometimes it was tempting, especially when my revenues started to dip and I wanted to make fucking money because I was living abroad in this amazing place, going in turquoise water every morning. Of course, I want to keep the business afloat, but I had to turn down collabs that didn't feel aligned and didn't feel right because I just didn't vibe with the values of the people that wanted to collab with me. I know what I want for my clients, and I want the best of the best of the best. I want the deepest possible integrity and respect. All of my clients in all of my offers, I want them to be in a cocoon, in something where they feel seen and respected and protected. I guess this is my mothering side, and I obviously don't mother my fucking client. Don't get me wrong. But this, like, if you're just listening and you can't see what I'm doing because I have the video, but this hug, like, I want to protect, I want to make safe, I want to make sure that everyone is feeling like hugged. I try to lead with my heart. Also, I just read some testimonials today, and I remember how those clients in Business Activator, they were calling me out for being really tough love, because if I love you, I'm gonna want the best from you and the best of the best. And I'm gonna push you to be uncomfortable because in your edges of growth, because I know how brilliant and capable you are, and I can hold a vision stronger than you can do it. So I can be really tough love. But anyway, it's tempting to collab to see this money that you can make. And I'm also someone who fucking loves luxury and a luxurious lifestyle. And I love money and I want more money. So I get it, how tempting it can be, because I've been tempted many times, and I really had to like hold myself, know that at the end of the day, I rather not make money for even a long period of time rather than compromising my values, because I have this weird thing about me that I want the money coming in to be pure. I want the energetic of my money receiving in my business, in my life, that I welcome to be coming from a clean source. I want to be good with my money on all single aspects. But that's not my point. My point is, get why people would feel tempted to not respect themselves in their business to reach more people and have more clients and make more money. But it was fascinating to me. And I was like, okay, I'm taking a stand for trusting ourselves. So I guess this whole podcast episode, anyway, was really about how we don't have to create an opposition between the masculine structure, the processes, and the strategies that are so needed in business. If you want to grow something of impact, you cannot do it just following your flow and your intuition all the time. You get to use, I don't like that term, but to utilize, I think it's worse. How do you say that? You want to take, I'm a lack of vocabulary right now. You want to use your feminine energy and your feminine fire, your heart, your intuition, your pussy precision to make the decisions in your business, to stay aligned with yourself, to lead with your heart, because people want that. We want that. Like, I don't want to work with just someone who has epic results. I see it. I'm going to open another tangent. Let's talk about this. I'm going to get cozy to talk about this. I'm fired up today. I see so many coaches, business coaches. Where do I even start? I don't want to talk shit just to talk shit. Or maybe I do. Welcome to my show. Sometimes I'm just tired with people's bullshit. One of this recently is all those business mentors, their only marketing thing, their only way to bring clients is like, look how much money I make. There is no context about actually how much money they have in their pockets, because you can make 100K month, right? And have in your pocket like nothing left at the end of the month because you're paying so many people and so many systems. Or you can be really bad with your money too and not know how to handle your business money. Okay, you're sharing your numbers. I have nothing wrong with sharing numbers. And I think if I was making big money like this, I would probably want to share it too, to show people, hey, that's accessible to you too. When it's done in that manner, I love it. I appreciate it. When it's done as a marketing promise of like, hey, look, I make so much money, but you don't tell me how you're going to actually help me, or anyone for that matter. They have nothing. They don't teach you anything. They're just like, hey, I make money. Do you want to make money too? You're going to have to pay me your money so that I get even more wealthy while I'm teaching you. I don't know what they fucking teach, because they don't even share about what problem they're actually going to solve. And because money is so emotionally charged and loaded, this is such a great marketing strategy. Just like the women that I was mentioning before, the feminine embodiment coach that are like, you would have to never do anything hard because all you can do is masturbate and be in your pleasure and God is going to penetrate you with money. Those bitches, they have systems in place. They have freaking amazing marketing tactics, right? And they then teach you to be in your pleasure. And don't get me wrong, I don't know why I feel like I have to justify, especially like we're good. I don't know why I'm getting so so fired up and so wow, activated. But I teach that in my programs too. Read testimonials this morning and this woman was sharing like, oh, you helped me so much with the sex magic practice that we did in the business coaching. So I do that too, but it's important to have context. It's important to understand that feminine versus masculine business is over. If you want to lead like a woman, you get to have both because you have both in your system, whether you like it or not. You have both in your system and your business needs both. It needs your fire, your feminine, the fact that you're going to make decisions that are not bro marketing, that are ethical, that are grounded in love and hope and care for your community and the people you're serving, that are grounded in intuition, creativity, pleasure, beauty, devotion. This is what it means to lead like a woman. You need to source that. You don't want to be like those big corporation that just uses any kind of tactics to trick people to buy their shit. You don't want that. You want to source in your feminine. You want to source in your creativity, in your power, in your beauty, in But you cannot be just that because that doesn't build a business. It builds a side hustle that never can support you the way you want to be supported. And I know this from experience, right? Like I've tried everything. And I struggled for a very fucking long time. But it feels so good when you have structures and system in place. And let me tell you, they can feel good, but it doesn't mean that everything you're going to do in your business is going to feel good. You're going to have to deal with your taxes. You're going to have to deal with, I don't know, like doing things you don't want to do. There are things, if you're a solo entrepreneur, and usually in the early stages, you cannot hire 20 people to do all the things you don't like to do. And there is this thing that I've learned recently, doing my money healing and also learning so much about business. I am surrounding myself with a lot of teachers right now and a lot of information. So I learned that recently and I was so called out. And let me know if you feel that too. For the longest time, when it came to money, I was like, I cannot wait to make big money. And then I make big money and I hire someone to deal with it for me. So I wanted the butter, the ass of the, never mind, I'm not going to go there. But we have this French saying, which means the butter, the money from the butter, and the ass of the creamer. Creamer? I don't know how you say that. Anyway, that's why I don't want to go there. Anyway, which means you want to make the money, but you don't want the responsibility that come with it. And this lady was saying, I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's childish. That's immature. And she was sharing from her experience. So it was not pointing fingers to just point fingers. And I felt so seen because my whole life I was like, oh no, yes, I want money. I want luxury. I want wealth. I want to make big money. But oh no. Someone is going to handle it for me. Even until recently, my man is learning about investments. It's a realm that is very intimidating for me. And he's really into that. And I'm like, babe, don't worry. I make the money and then you handle the investments. And I was like, no, I get to be responsible. I get to be mature. This is such an immaturity that come through. The reason why I'm sharing is because we do the same in business. Like, oh my God, I don't like to do my community managing time on Instagram. I don't like to reply to my DMs. I don't like to create content. I don't like to do my taxes. I don't like to do my edits. I don't like to do this. And we're like, I don't want to do it. I just want to hire someone because it's exhausting. And yes, it is. It is fucking exhausting to not be able to be in your zone of genius because all you want to do is do the things that you're good at. And I fucking get it. It's exhausting. It's hard. But guess what? Entrepreneurship is hard, but we can decide to lead in a feminine way. I'm going to chill out because I don't know why I'm getting so fired up and I'm almost getting mad at you. You didn't do anything, but I'm getting mad at you. What the fuck? Like, I have those moments sometimes where I switch from being like so soft, so surrendered, so feminine to being fucking fired up. So let me chill. For real, I'm going to chill. We need both. I think I'm going to sum up this episode and this craziness saying that we do need both. We need to have a structure that supports us and makes a business a real business. And if you want to step into your CEO, you get to have the structure that supports you. But also, you don't have to have a strategy that doesn't feel good, that doesn't feel right. Sorry, excuse me, because I'm very contradicting myself if I say that. You're going to have to do things that don't feel good. That is for sure. I think everyone goes through that. Wanting to escape that is indeed immature. It is not wrong. I felt that. I still feel that. It's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with this. It's nature. It's natural. It's normal. It's part of how we function as humans. So no need to add some layer of shame to this. This is a natural thing that occurs if you're a human being. Simultaneously, you can then step into the most mature version of you and be like, okay, that doesn't feel necessarily good. I won't have to do it all the time, right? But now I get to do that because it's important for the plan, the growth, and for my projects to actually come to life in a way that feels aligned, in the way that I want. On the other side, you can do what feels right. Doesn't mean it's going to feel good, but it's going to feel right. It's going to be aligned with your deepest desires and values. And because it feels right, it allows you to have more strength to go through hardships. I still feel the fire in my belly right now. Like, I really got passionate in this episode. So if I had to give you one thing to remember, to anchor it or to feel validated in, because I know if you're listening to this podcast, you already know everything that I just shared. It probably just feels good to hear it from someone else in a different way with my own experiences and my eyes and what I see. But I know you probably vibe with that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast all this time. But remember that you can do things in a way that feels right for you, that is aligned with you. That's what I call leading like a woman, using your creativity, your passion, your inspiration, your heart, your brilliance, and get the support of your inner masculine to have what allows you to grow, scale, and step up and level up. You get to have both. They're never in opposition. They always work together. They always serve one another. The masculine is bringing the structure, but the feminine is bringing the fire, the inspiration, the passion, the creativity. It brings also the nurturing. This is because of your feminine that you pour so much into a business. That's also how you don't fucking burn out. Burnout is a whole other topic that I could create another episode. But if you think about burning out and how I've burned out multiple times, I feel like I always had those cycles of being passionate, being in my fire, in my masculine, let's get shit done. It's my let's fucking go era right now. So I'm in that fire right now. And then I give so much. I work so hard. I'm so deep in my hustle, then burn, crash, and then I cannot do anything for 3 months. And I'm like healing from it. I haven't really escaped those. And I also have to say, I took a long time off. My whole pregnancy and the first month of my daughter, 3 months, I think after she was 3 months, I started to like feel the desire to create again. But I stopped everything. I stopped learning. I stopped showing up consistently. I still showed up somehow. I was present on my social media, but I was sharing about my life and I didn't feel like myself. So I didn't have anything to like quote unquote teach. I also felt very disconnected from my own teachings because I was not in integrity, not embodied in them. Like I couldn't talk about sensuality. I felt nothing but sensual during my pregnancy. But I've learned so much insights now that I can also recreate my offers. I had this amazing offer called Soft and Surrendered that was all about leaning into our sensual selves and opening our heart to drop the walls around our hearts and surrender and soften. I created this program years ago and I created a new iteration of that now that I know what it's like to go through pregnancy, to have a baby. Of course, my visions are different. And so I split that program in two. There is a whole program called, I'm not actually going to share the name yet because I haven't released it. I haven't launched it yet. So I'm going to keep that for later. The second one as well. So I've splitted this program into two. One being really for the feminine energy, the becoming magnetic, orgasmic woman, someone who feels free in her sensuality. And the other one for everything that is related to the heart, healing our relationship with men, manifesting the one, having the greatest relationship of our lives, loving ourselves more. And so I did that also in my time of stepping away. So yes, we want the masculine and the hustle, but sometimes life. Now Rosie, my baby, is crying, so I'm going to tend to her. But I just want to wrap this up saying you're allowed to take some time off. You're allowed to be in your feminine, to be healing, to be processing a lot. And you're allowed to also then step back into your masculine and have those two combine together and be of service to one another. I think this is when it truly works. And this is the world I want to see. No apology needed anymore. Just leading like a woman, making mistakes, growing, having this precision in business where you have discernment and you know what decisions to make from your pussy, from your intuition, from your pleasure, from your feminine strength. In the feminine realm, we tend to point fingers at the hustle culture. And yes, this comes from the patriarchal society, and I'm profoundly against this whole system that doesn't value our emotions, our cyclical nature, etc., etc. If you do a really hard session at the gym, you will feel so proud of yourself, and it feels good to push hard. So it can feel good to push hard in your business as long as it's aligned. As long as you're not betraying yourself, it can actually feel really, really, really good to hustle, to have this grit, this ambition, this power. And I want to connect with more women like that, and I want to help them to tap into that feminine force. Now Rosie is getting crazy. This is my time to go. Have a lovely week. I talk to you next week. Mwah!